Like herding cats.
All right. Come on in, take a seat, everybody. All right, well, here we are, March HUPS meeting. Thanks for turning out, everybody. All you Zoomer guys, I hear a lot of silence right now, so that's. But if you don't mind, go ahead and mute your microphones. And if you want to talk, feel free to unmute, push the space bar or unmute either way. But by muting, we get rid of all the ringing doorbells and barking dogs and all that kind of stuff via Zoom. I see quite a few new faces tonight, so we'll do the crowd here first. Any first-time attendees tonight that want to introduce themselves? Come on, you guys.
Oh, come on, you're going to be on part of the show.
Jim and Pat Brindley here. Dennis invited us because apparently we're on one of his videos tonight. It was 1996. That was our 20th wedding anniversary.
Nice.
So it was a great trip. Looking forward to seeing it.
Oh, thanks for coming out.
Yeah, let me amplify on that a little bit. Is that Jim was my dive master when I got certified and got my advanced. Gene Davis was he was the instructor. Unfortunately, Gene is no longer with us, which is a shame. He was a great guy. But this trip that we took to Palau, and I will talk a little bit more at it before, was really an eye opener for me. It was like, okay, it's a place I really always wanted to go, and that they went with me was fantastic. Great trip.
Straight, you don't want to say hello? Who are you? You gotta say more than that.
We're still diving.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Straight's have been big active divers for years in the Houston Dive community, so we're real happy to see you at the meeting tonight. Glad you showed up. Are y'all in the program tonight? You just came for no reason? We're so happy. That's great. We're happy to see you. No one else wants to introduce themselves? Come on. All you gotta do is say how you ended up here. What's your name?
All right, I'll introduce myself so you guys turn the camera. So my name is Brian Rule. I've been diving since 2010. I took a 7-year vacation from it. Life happens, COVID, you know, no excuse anybody else can't use this week. But I decided I wanted to get back into it. Photography's always been a part of what drives my desire to go diving. And, you know, there's some folks that like to go, you know, pet sharks as deep as they can possibly go. That's awesome for them. I like to take pictures of stuff. And so I figured, you know what, let me come and socialize with other people who like to take pictures of stuff underwater, because then I'm not the only weirdo with a camera.
Well, we're glad to have you. Glad you made it out tonight, and you're definitely not the only weirdo with a camera on this one. All right, how about any of you Zoomers? Any first-time attendees, or anybody want to introduce themselves?
Hey, I got Perry, my friend from Atlanta. Perry, hit the space bar and talk to us, man. Perry Krause.
Maybe he's not hearing you.
You're not hearing us, Perry?
Is he frozen? He's frozen. Okay, moving on.
Whatever.
Mathis, Shannon, y'all want to say hello?
Did I hear that Bob Strait is there?
Yeah.
That's true. Is Margie there too?
Yes.
Oh, that's great. Sorry I missed you.
Mathis, there's Matt.
Hey, Mathis and Shannon are here. We're glad to be here tonight. Our dogs are here too, so we're trying to keep it on mute. They're trying to butt in.
All right, well, thanks for coming out. We enjoy seeing you. And how about anybody else on the Zoom? Jennifer, you want to say hello?
Here we go. Hi, I'm calling in from College Station. This is my first time meeting. So.
Welcome.
Good. We're glad to see you turn out. Hopefully we'll see you here in a few weeks at the film festival.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
I got to come last year and I'm looking forward to coming again this year.
All right, great. We're looking forward to seeing you.
yeah, she and her film won third place in the Made in Texas, so she's a mini celebrity.
Oh, you remember. Thank you.
So ask Jennifer how many people she's bringing down. from
Yeah,
College
we
Station.
hope you're bringing a busload from College Station.
I'm working on it. Well, maybe I can get a bus this year. We'll see.
Well, we have a really big venue this year, really nice place. So hopefully you can help us fill it up.
Oh,
Somebody
fantastic.
is trying to share screen. They need to stop that.
Is someone trying to share a screen on Zoom? There we go. Stop. Stop. Thank you.
Not anymore. There-
We also have Johnavy, her father is on here as well. I don't know if I can pronounce it or not, but where did he go?
There it is.
Delish.
There he
You
is.
gotta unmute.
Press the space bar and talk to us.
Yeah, Sailesh here. Hi, guys. All the way from Mumbai, India. I'm in Houston right now. I'm heading back a couple of days. I'm a diver since 2010 and dived all around the world. And have dived over 350 dives, right from the Caribbean to the Maldives. I think you guys should come to Maldives.
Yeah.
And down to Croatia, I dive, cold dive. No fun. Didn't have fun in that. But good fun. Good experiences.
All right, well, good.
Guys,
Hey, Perry is now unfrozen. Perry, hit the space bar and tell us something about yourself. He's frozen again.
Hey,
Oh, there he goes.
Introduce
can you
yourself.
guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I met Dennis, where was it? Down Peru?
Peru.
Yeah, we were on the Galapagos and it was a tour with Gate One Travel. And then I guess we did a couple of other tours, Africa and Ireland and Scotland,
Egypt.
right? And then just recently in Florida for a week. So anyway, I've known Dennis maybe, 4 years now? 3, 4 years?
About 5 maybe.
5, yep. But I'm not a diver. I was a diver, but not a current diver.
Okay, thank you.
Well, nice that you showed up. We enjoy seeing you here.
I wanted to also say hi to my high school buddy Lou Lindsay. She's up there in north, almost to Oklahoma. Hello, Lou.
Hi, hey, Dennis and the group, and best wishes. I can't wait to see this presentation. I've heard all about the trip, so I
Yeah,
look forward to it.
yeah, I'm the same way. I can't wait to see it too.
Okay. Well, okay, fingers crossed up here. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Brian also. He's one of our Lunar Fins people.
Hello,
Hello, Brian. Thanks for turning out.
There he
how are
is.
y'all doing?
Good.
Hi, Brian.
Brian, Brian's going to help me retrieve our photos from down in at Galveston.
Good. Okay, I'm glad to see everybody here tonight, online and in person. Thanks for everybody introducing yourselves. This is a part of the meeting where we usually ask if anybody's been diving lately. They want to give a little trip report. Has anybody been out diving in the last month or so since the last meeting? No, nobody on Zoom either? Oh, it's sad state of affairs. Okay.
Yeah.
We gotta work on that next month. I just want to leave a little reminder that it's time or past time to renew your membership. So if you haven't done so, you can go on the HUPS website, hups.org, and do a PayPal payment, or we also take old school checks. That's your all gave me. Don't forget to do that. Now we sort of move into the announcements. Russell is not here tonight. Russell is having hip surgery. He actually had it today. So everybody wish him a little good luck with that. Oh, he's home and feeling great. Awesome. Thank you. Good to know. Good to know. Thank you. Oh, yeah, your husband, right? That's what I heard. Yeah, we're good. That's awesome. That's good news about Russell. But he asked me to give a little brief announcement about the British Virgin Islands trip that's coming up in May. You guys that are going probably already know, but I think the balance payment is due sometime middle of March. And things moving along. Russell will be leading the trip, but he will not be diving on the trip. He said he's been in the BVI a lot of times as a diver. And he's kind of looking forward to doing some things, seeing some different parts of the BVIs that he has not seen before. But it should be a fun trip for everybody involved. Sing is not here, is he?
Don't see Sage.
Okay. Betsy, do you want to talk a bit about Huff?
I'm gonna let my co-chair do that, okay?
God, I get to say a word. Unbelievable. So things are moving along. We just had a 45-minute meeting. It's our last official meeting here at the Bayland, but we have our dress rehearsal, so we're not anywhere near done on this. The HUP is a little less than 4 weeks away now. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you, but I don't think.
Everybody? Okay. So tickets have been on sale for about a week now and doing really well. It's being handled by the Match Theater organization, so it's really easy to do online. And Betsy gets a ticket report every morning at 6:30. So buy your tickets or she's coming after you. You know, she's got a list and she knows who hasn't done it yet. So the one thing I would say to this group, everybody knows about the thing and they've seen the trailer, and our focus now is to spend our energy on getting the word out in the dive community and any other associations that you have. Don't be shy, just, you know, in fact, be a pain in the butt if you possibly can. It works for me and Dennis. So, you know, you'd be surprised how many people who aren't divers who are actually interested to come and see this thing. So just think about your networks. If you see a post for tickets on sale on one of the media sites, like it, share it to, you know, your own timeline, and that way everybody that you know will see it. So just help us out a little bit there. If you got any questions, we're around, and just give us a call.
Okay, we're good. Yeah, so we're all looking forward to the Houston Underwater Film Festival, April 2nd and 3rd. And for you out-of-towners on Zoom, we do have on-demand tickets. So it's you can play all the films at comfort of your own home. So keep that in mind, and they're available on the same link as the regular tickets are available. So you can find on Facebook and the HUPS website and a lot of other places. Let's see. We were talking at the last board meeting a little bit about workshops, trying to figure out what we can offer to our members in the way of workshops. And we're really interested in hearing any requests. If you have a request for a workshop idea, we really want to hear about it. So, and these can be in person or Zoom workshops. So we're open for anything. And because we can do Zoom workshops, they don't have to be a multi-hour type of thing. They can just be a short, you know, technical thing that people are interested in learning. So if you have any ideas, let us hear about it. Let's see. I think that's it. Dennis.
Okay, I think, can I just sit over here and just do a little bit of talk? Yeah. I hope I can remember what I was going to say here. Let's see, where am I? Come on. Okay. Okay. What I was going to tell you is that the trip that we took with HUPS back in 2016 was really a very good trip. I think it was one of these feel-good trips. I think that's what Sandy was saying, that when she thought about it and saw the trailer, it just made her smile. And that's kind of the way I feel about it as well. But it goes back a lot further than that. And I got certified in 1990, and I started looking around at different places to go diving. And it didn't take me too long to pick out Palau as I thought was going to be kind of the place that I wanted to go, because I thought it offered more than anything else that anywhere in the world. It had wrecks, it had caves, it had Jellyfish Lake, it had drop-offs, it had everything you can imagine, big hole, blue holes. So I kind of focused in on this, and it was in my bucket list and all the way to the top of my bucket list. And when I finally decided to go, I ended up getting my wife, Martha, and Pat and Jim Brindley to go with me. So 4 of us went over there, and it's all in this show. And it's a long presentation. It's 37 minutes, which is almost unprecedented. But I really don't have anything else to say because everything that I wanted to say is in this film. And afterwards, when we have some questions, feel free to ask. Hopefully, we've been working to try to get the video to work as well as possible on Zoom. It's been very jerky up to a certain point, but David and Martin and I have worked several times to try to work it out with examples and things like that. Finally, I recast my entire show from 30 frames a second to 24 frames a second, which is the native Zoom presentation frame rate. And it makes a big, big difference. But we also found out from Eric over at Oceanic Ventures, some other tricks that Zoom allows us to do to actually play the video frame, the film itself off of the film, off of our computer. And I think that also helps. So for you guys out in Zoom land over there, we have tried to do what we can to make this as pleasurable as possible. So Martin, I'm going to turn it over to you to play it, and I'll go turn the lights off.
Change the camera.
It's okay. Get it, click on, there you go. A little higher up. 2022. There you go. Which one? Go down.
It's the video itself. I think it's this one.
Yes, that's it right there. Okay, off. February 2016. A group from HUPS traveled a third of the way around the world to dive the fabled waters of Yap and Palau. Yap and Palau sit atop a ridge created by plate tectonics. The Pacific Plate is diving beneath the Philippine Plate. This creates two of the deepest trenches on the planet. Manta Ray Bay Resort and their dive center are known around the world. It's a solid, well-run operation. The dive center is well laid out and the staff very competent and helpful. The restaurant is an old repurposed Indonesian schooner. We spent many hours inside this unique place. The food was good and the beer cold. Yap is a mecca for manta encounters, and many of our dives took us to the best of the locations. Of our 17 dives, 5 were at manta cleaning stations. We spent 4 dives at Yap Caverns all the way to the south end of the island. The other 8 were scattered around at western or southern locations. Getting to the mantas was fun. We would board at the resort and motor north through Tangerang Canal, which was cut by the Germans in 1901. At low tide, it was difficult or sometimes impossible to traverse the canal. But once we got through, it was possible to motor through the lagoon pretty rapidly. The boat would moor up and the group would jump in, following the ridge to the viewing station. Visibility was generally poor, but that's why the mantas were there. We would be in a semicircle with the show in front, overhead, and sometimes behind us. The other location at Mill Channel was much the same. Jump in, follow the ridge out to the viewing station, line up, and watch the show. It wasn't just mantas. Yap had much more to show us. Just around the corner, Vertigo perched on the drop-off, provided clear waters, sunshine, and sharks. Lionfish Wall juts out over the Yap Trench as far south as we could dive. The shallows on top of the wall are beautiful and full of nice surprises. At the drop-off, the reef becomes high profile with schools of fish flashing by. It's not all diving in Yap. Time to surface and head back for more adventures. We arrive back home and head out to check on the local culture. Monica and I stopped by the First National Bank of Yap to exchange money. We're told they have no small bills. Stone money, or rye, was quarried by the Yapese for hundreds of years. Most of the stones made of crystal and calcite were quarried and shaped on the islands of Palau. Large expeditions were formed that might last several years. Transport back to Yap was often hazardous, and many were lost in the depths. Their value is not so much determined by the size, but rather the heroic stories of difficulty overcome. Yap didn't play a pivotal role during World War II. The Japanese occupied it and built an airfield, but it was mostly bypassed due to the U.S.'s island hopping strategy. They would still bomb the airfield to keep it from being a factor and lost planes in the process, like the remains of this Grumman F-6F Hellcat. These 10 airmen on the Coleman B-24J were never found when they were hit and crashed into the sea. Men who had to grow up and die way too young. Following the war, Yap became a U.S. trusteeship until 1996, when it became part of the Federated States of Micronesia. Back in the present, we visited one of the tribal houses and were treated to a traditional dance performed by a troupe of young men and boys. After a good night's sleep, we head back to see more underwater marvels of Yap. Today's agenda takes us south again, this time to the sloping reef of Buena Vista. The diving is smooth with good wide angle and macro subjects. Toward the end of the dive, I spot these two little sharp-nosed puffers squaring off like they've been tossed into Thunderdome. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. Farther south, right around the corner, Yap Caverns awaits. It's another high-profile reef with unusual sights, swim-throughs, magic mushrooms, and a wicked thermocline. This amazing and exotic dive site turns into a favorite. We dive it 4 times. At the bottom and in the cold, Kay finds a pile of algae debris that is robustly inhabited. We've been told all the way back in the labyrinth is where we will find magic mushrooms. Back on top, where it's warmer, we're overwhelmed by beauty and variety. Hovering over the lettuce coral, a cuttlefish speaks to us in colorful code. It's not for us to comprehend. From my earliest days of diving, I viewed Palau as a magical kingdom, where sky, water, and marvels came together above and below the water in wondrous ways. A place where rock islands rise from the lagoon, crystalline stalactites grow in watery caves, and jellyfish soak up sunshine in a salty lake. Palau is an archipelago surrounded by lagoons and drop-offs. In the north are the seldom visited Kai Angel Islands and atolls. To the far south are the war-torn islands of Palau and Angaur. In between, Koror is the center of commerce and where everything begins and ends. Most of the diving is in the southwestern part of the main lagoon. In 1996, Martha and I went with Jim and Pat Brindley for a week on the Sundancer, a Peter Hughes boat. We stayed at the Palau Pacific Resort when arriving and booked 2 extra dives with Sam's Tours before boarding. The Star Dancer was a comfortable, well-run boat. Several years later, it was renamed the Star Dancer and moved to Papua New Guinea. In 2007, a group from HUPS booked the same boat for a stormy trip. Martha was no longer diving because of ear problems, so she snorkeled on almost every dive, even on our night dive, which she said afterward was pretty stupid. She was a real trooper. My Nikon is 5 and I never got along well, but I still managed to get some pictures that I liked. Chandelier Cave was fun. 2 of us went to the back, climbed out, took off our gear, and crawled back farther before returning. On the far west side of the atoll, 3 enormous blue holes cut through the reef. Descending into the darkness is eerie, but I found it strangely calming. In the same area, Blue Corner, Big Drop-Off, and Nemela's Wall are signature dives. Hooking onto the wall and watching the schools of fish and sharks is electric. Unfortunately, those pictures were destroyed when the developer tank got dropped on the boat. Only a few were saved. We sailed 1 day south to Angaur, the pork chop of the Pacific. The vast field of cobblestone coral was unique in my experience. The boat stopped at Palau on the way back for 1 dive and a World War II history lesson. Snorkeling in Jellyfish Lake was the final high point of our trip. Then, the Sundancer took us through the Rock Islands before docking and our trip home. Palauan byhouses were traditionally decorated with carvings depicting local myths and historical events. In the 1930s, a Japanese artist arrived to teach carving to the Palauans. He studied the legends carved on those walls. Storyboards, as they are now called, were carved by prisoners for rehabilitation. We purchased these 2 in that same jailhouse. We catch the early flight from Yap to Palau to do some kayaking in the Rock Islands. Sam's Tours has it all ready for us when we arrive, and after getting changed, we head out. The scenery is special and a great experience. Back for a break, Sandy goes all Henry Wadsworth Longfellow on us. Monica takes exception to the cold water. And Lance could care less. Betel nut is the seed of the Erica palm. It is chewed in Southeast Asia and tropical Pacific for stimulation and heightened awareness. Monica, it seems, will try just about anything once. After the nut is cracked, it is marinated with slaked lime, wrapped in a betel leaf, and chewed. She must have thought it was okay. Well, maybe not. We board the Palau Aggressor and head out for a week of diving. We're back in the water, this time at Big Drop Off for sea fans, hungry turtles, and fish of all varieties. is hooking onto the reef and watching the parade of sharks and other fish. We move on to German Channel, blasted through the reef by the Germans in 1905 using explosives made from bird guano found on Angauer. We went to see mantas, and all we got was this sandy ray and remoras. Later on, up the channel, we run through a large school of big eyes. I got stuck on them and the group moved on. So I got lost. I keep looking for them farther up north in the channel while they're busy getting on the boat. 15 minutes later, I arrive at the boat, tired but happy. The variety of fish species, especially butterfly fish, is really amazing. Cameo appearances by sweet lips, angelfish, soldierfish, wrasse of all kinds, triggerfish, and you name it, fill up my memory cards. Stranger things are going on at other dive sites. Here, a fully fed leaf fish perches surrounded by his buffet. This big boy is zeroed in on some hapless morsel of food. He isn't about to be stopped by a pile of junk. Nobody has apparently told him to respect the reef. Something's down there and he's going to get it. Come on, man, you're better than this. I hope it was worth all that effort. In another part of the reef, we find two octopuses with more on their mind than watching us strange swimmers. The approach is slow and steady, and finally accepted. Another generation is guaranteed. it's time to relax. Back at Virgin Blue Hole, we pause to watch a school of snappers pass overhead. Then we descend into the dark. Our final experience before heading home is Jellyfish Lake. It is a small enclosed lake on the rock island of Isle Malik. A short hike over the ridge brings us to the platform where we start our snorkeling run. There are two species of jellyfish, moon and golden jellyfish. Both derive their nutrition from symbiotic algae living in their tissue and from zooplankton in the lake. On several occasions, the population has dropped off precipitously. Causes given range from high water temperatures to sunscreen chemicals. We walk out and start the trek home. Our memories of these magical waters will be with us forever. Let's get back off of here.
I like it better the second time.
I wanted to thank especially the people that contributed, Jim and Debbie. Jim is here. Where are you, Jim? Over here. And Monica especially. A lot of the stuff came from Monica and Tom as well. Putting this together was a labor of love. It didn't come together quickly at all. Going back to 1996 with Jim and Pat and resurrecting things off of slides was a bit of an effort as well, but it was always good. You can, but the other people that were contributors were all of the people like Sandy and Monica and Lance and Joe and Joseph and everybody that showed up for this. I guess Lance was there and Beth was there. I'm probably forgetting some people as well, but it was a memorable trip. And to me, putting this together was an event for me. It felt like I was there again. That those emotions, and I'm getting a little choked up right now, were there every time I worked on this. The more I worked on it, the more I went through it, and the more I enjoyed it. I really feel like I don't know if I can do any better than this. I really like it. And I really thank everybody for their contributions. Okay. Any questions? Yes.
Photography, the sunset, the music, everything.
Thank you. I owe a lot of that to Epidemic Sound. Music is a part of my life, as well as art as well. And to me, the music is essential to everything that I do for a film like this. In some respects, it starts with the music for me. I choose the music, I put it in there, and then the pieces start to fall into place. And I work with the pace of it and the transitions so that the mood that I'm feeling is something I'm trying to get over to the other people that are viewing it as well. It's a creative process, and that's the beauty of it. Hopefully, people like you that are out here in the audience will have an appreciation for what we did, what we saw, and how we did it. Any more?
Okay, well, I'll be honest with you, when Dennis told me this is 27 minutes long, a week or two ago, I was like, oh boy, that's really long. But I thought it was great. It didn't seem long, so I would say you did a wonderful job. I really enjoyed it. And thanks to you and all the people that contributed. It was a great show. So no other questions for Dennis? Yes.
I don't know if it's bad form, but what software did you use to compose the video? Because it's really well done.
It is certainly not a question that shouldn't be asked. Most of the people here that are working with video and filmmaking are using DaVinci Resolve.
Okay.
And I'll get on here. DaVinci Resolve is a freeware. If you want to buy it, if you want to buy it, you can spend about $300 and get basically a professional quality editing software that's on par with just about anything that you can find out there for a PC or a Mac. It has hundreds or thousands of YouTube how-to videos. If you get stuck wanting to know how to do something, you can find it like that.
And is there a reason that that's preferred over, say, something like Premiere Pro, or I forget there's a Mac specific option that's out there, and I apologize.
There's probably, I think maybe nobody really understands for sure, other than the fact that we weren't sure where we were going with our filmmaking, and this was a cheap way in.
Fair enough.
And the further we got into it, and then the next generation of it started out with 15, then it went to 16, and version 17, 17.3. And each time it just got more sophisticated. The functionality of it is almost, I won't say infinite, but it approaches that, especially for somebody my age. And it probably is equivalent in many respects to Premiere Pro. I know that David uses the Apple movie.
Use iMovie, which is not Final Cut, which is the higher end.
Yeah, Final Cut's the one I was referring to.
Yeah.
I figured that's what, I just use iMovie, which comes free on Macs and probably iPad and everything. You know, for me, it's just fun.
Well, we've seen your work, and it's good. There's nothing wrong with it at all. It doesn't have the same functionality that this does. But there's another thing that I have learned to use is there is a suite of products made by Topaz Software that allows you to do a lot of editing for stills, like removing of noise and noisy high ISO things. But they also have a video enhance AI program that allows you to do super slow motion or speed it up or improve the resolution. Like if you start with a 540p file, you can make it all the way up to 4K if that's what you want to. Right now, Jesse has given me a bunch of files that were taken back in 1990. Is that right, Jesse? Yeah. 1990 on the flower gardens where they had an infestation of mantis. Okay. And of course, you're back in 1990, you're talking about divers behaving badly, you know, riding the mantas and petting the mantas. No, they wouldn't do that.
Excuse me? No.
Yeah, well, I have the proof. I have the proof. And so anyway, so Jesse is kind of like my gadfly. He throws me something and says, here, gnaw on this for a while, right? We work together pretty well. In fact, a couple of weeks from now, we're going to be back in the flower gardens trying it all over again. So that allows me to take clips of video that is marginal and make it viewable. I can make good stuff really good with it, the same thing. And I can take old clips, substandard, and bring them up to almost current 1K viewability with that. So that's that's just some of the things that we do. We've had a lot of workshops on it, and it's pretty cool.
That's a good question. Any other
Absolutely.
questions?
I have a question for Dennis.
There she is.
Okay, go ahead.
Hi. It's actually for both you and Jesse and anybody else who's done the flower gardens on a pretty regular basis over the years. This infestation of mantas, do you know what time of year it was? And have there been more sightings? Have there been more sightings over the years?
Oh, it was 1990. No, actually, it was in the summer. May to August. PJ, it was back then in 1990. One of the reasons I asked Dennis to do what he just described he's doing for me is I went back just recently and looked at these old VHS tapes, and I'm going, wow, there's like 2 and 3 mantas in a frame. And I couldn't believe how many manta rays that we were seeing back in 1990 compared to now. We're still seeing them now, but not like 1990.
Yeah, I'm taking his video right now. I think it was 37 minutes of mattas and things all in one clip. Well, what I was working with, and I have it going from 540p up to like about 3.5K or something like that. I think is what it ended up with, and it is busy cranking away, and it will be cranking away until about 7 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
10 hours and 22 minutes. So I think it's what the latest, what it showed me. And it's doing it at less than 1 frame a second. That's how much it takes. And I have a really, really beefy, fast computer. So you can imagine, don't try this on your laptop.
So is Jesse on the schedule to be a presenter sometime really soon yet?
Yeah, later on. Jesse, tell them about your Antarctica.
Oh, Antarctica is August 1st.
No manta ray on this one.
No. And actually, I'm not really the main presenter. We've got Becky Kagan is coming. Well, actually, it's going to be virtual. I'm going to be virtual too, August 1st. I'm not going to be here. But Becky Schott, who is a 5-time Emmy Award winner filmmaker. She's going to be the main presenter, and I'm just going to do a little stuff at the beginning because I was very limited in what I was able to do on the Antarctica trip. It's a long story. I'm not going to get into it now, but I managed 1 scuba dive in Antarctica, and I'm glad I got to scuba dive in Antarctica. But it was only 1 dive. The plan was 5 days there and do up to 10 dives. And but that we'll talk about that later. But Becky was able. She has a whole. This was like her 4th trip to Antarctica, and so she's got a lot of fantastic Antarctica stills and video underwater in Antarctica. And so she agreed to be the main presenter August 1st. And I'm just going to do a little introduction for 5 or 10 minutes at most.
I need to ask the people out there in Zoom land, how was the Zoom quality? Because what we see on our screen here is not what you see there. Was it jerky?
I thought it was awesome, Dennis.
It was playing smooth?
Very smooth. It was great.
That's okay.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, played well, really well.
Well, David and Martin and I have spent several sessions trying to iron out the bugs. And I think we owe Eric Eric Keibler, we owe him for putting us onto some of the tricks that we use to improve it quite a bit. Because we are now doing our bicameral presentations here, where we have people actually in the audience, and thank you very much for showing up. This is a very nice turnout, and the people out there online. We can schedule people like Becky and people like Marty Schneiderman, and we can get Bert Jones and have these international people that are like the legends of diving, and that can come in and give their presentations to the rest of us and the rest of the world. And I would say that one of the outfalls, one of the positive outfalls of COVID epidemic was the fact that we didn't know what we were going to do for meetings. Isn't that right, David? Yeah. So we talked about it and we knew about Zoom. So we started that, and for about a year, that's all we did was Zoom. And then we started back up and we said, well, we don't want to lose the fact that we have people like Barry Klein, and we have Lou Lindsay, and people like Jody, and all of the people that can't make it now can make it from their home. And we think it's a very big positive influence and something that we offer that very few clubs can offer or will offer. So
Yeah, we're glad it's working out.
Okay.
And thanks again, Dennis. Everybody again. We're going to move right up to the photo contest, so stay tuned.
Getting lost, are you, huh, Mark?
I think I'm gonna show it the old way, because I don't know what it is.
You're on the desktop.
Yeah, I know that. I don't see it.
Click it for date and look for the latest date. Okay, go for there.
It's not there either. I'll do it the old way.
We'll be there soon. I do know what you're doing. Yeah, I'm confused.
Okay, guys, I hope you all enjoyed the contest as well as the presentation tonight. And again, glad to see everybody. I can see you. Probably gonna go to dinner here in a few minutes. If anybody wants to go to late dinner, come on down. Yes, Don Carlos. All right, thanks, everybody.